What's up everybody, Brian here in the Gecko Lab. Thank you for joining me. This is your weekly hatchling report. Thank you all for joining me today for another edition of the weekly hatchling report. You guys know this is the show, my computer just freaked out, where I not only show you guys some of the cool geckos that have been hatching here lately and talk about them, but give you updates on any other news, sales, items of note, random things going on in my life. I just blabber for a while and then I show you some geckos. It's a lot of fun. Thanks for joining me. Let's get into it. So, a couple things to talk about today. Housekeeping notes. Weekly sales are back. New geckos are for sale every Friday night at altitudeexotics.com. Shipping weather is hit and miss this time of year, but we are getting some boxes shipped out, so fear not there, and good shipping weather is right around the corner. Also, the main thing I want to talk about, it's a two-parter. The Altitude Exotics Adventure Retreats. You guys hear me talk about it all the time. It is honestly some of the most fun I've ever had in my life. So, real quick to get out of the way, my next adventure retreat is in April, the end of April, the 24th through the 29th. I do have spots open. I had a couple people drop out, so I still have 1, 2, 3 filled, 3 spots open, 3 rooms. So it's either a single or double travelers if you have somebody, friend, spouse, stranger you like a lot that you want to bring with you. I got 3 spots open. If anybody wants to come in April, those are available. AltitudeExoticsAdventures.com is the website. Check that out if you'd like to book it. But mostly what I want to talk about today is a quick recap of my last trip in February. We had the most amazing group of people. It was some of the most fun I've ever had in my life. Now, I say this every time we come back, that was an amazing group of people, and I truly mean it. Everyone that's gone on one of these retreats with me has been so much fun. Everybody clicked, we got along so well, and it's just such an incredible time. Deep in the rainforest of Belize, we spent 5 days hiking up rainforest mountains, scaling jungle waterfalls, swimming in jungle pools, of course looking for all the reptiles, amphibians, and wildlife that we can find. We go on night treks to find more snakes. We go ziplining through the canopy to see the rainforest from a bird's point of view. We do a jungle river float on some inner tubes through the middle of the world's only jaguar preserve. It's just like all around. We spent a day on the beach and hanging out in town. It's an incredible time. It's an all-inclusive trip. Food, lodging, ground transportation, and activities is all included in the price. The only thing not included is alcohol and airfare. That's it. Everything else you don't have to worry about. I take care of all of it. I want to bring you to Belize. I promise you will love it. It is honestly the best. It's my favorite place in the world, and it's so much fun to go there with just a group of awesome, like-minded individuals, and we all just have a blast kicking it around in the jungle, getting dirty, hot, sweaty, finding animals, catching snakes, and jumping off waterfalls for 5 days. I mean, seriously, it doesn't get any better than that, and I cannot wait to go back in April. Some of my favorite people are coming back. The people that are currently tripped are actually people that have already gone on my trips, and they're coming back for another go around. So if you'd like to join us, it's going to be so much fun. I also have a tour planned in August. If April doesn't work for you, all the details on the website, link in the doobly-doo down below. That's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see, any other housekeeping notes? Lots going on with the gecko world these days. Breeding season is swinging in. I don't get a lot of eggs yet, but the pairings are starting to group up and eggs are slowly starting to trickle in, and it's not that long off before we are going to have eggs coming out the wazoo here. It's going to be a big breeding season. Of course, I've acquired some new geckos recently. Super cappuccinos coming in, axanthic stuff growing up, coming in and going out. I got lots going on. It's going to be a big year, so stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of these hatchling reports that tell you everything I got going on. But for now, enough of my blabbing. Let's get into the geckos. I got 5 beautiful ones picked out. Now, there's not a lot hatching this time of year. I did have a really, really nice lily white hatch out the other day. First one I've had hatch in a while, so there's not much hatching this time of year. So I picked a few older-ish babies, some late last year stuff, comes kind of trickle in over the winter. Let's check these out. So the first one I'm going to show you, I picked a charcoal. This is a beautiful phantom pinstripe charcoal. Check this guy out. Couple things I love about him. For one, he was just going into shed, and I left the little shed coming off his nose right there because I thought it was just pretty neat looking, and honestly he's pretty cute, so I left him alone and just said, you know what, I'm gonna photograph you like that. But a couple things I want to point out here on this guy. Great dark color. This is real dark color for one this young. He's sub 4 grams, little guy. Good pinning, good phantom pinning, phantom quad striping on the side there. I love that. And then the white tips on the crest on the side of his head. You just can't not love that. The white tips coming up on the back just off the tail line there. Nice phantom pinning all the way down the back. Just overall structure wise, this is a beautiful gecko. I absolutely love it. And this is definitely one I got my eye on. I say this every time. I got my eye on this one to grow up. Well, that's because I picked the nicest ones to show you guys here. I got my eye on all of these ones growing up, but great example of a charcoal there. Let's move on to number 2. Similar, but very different gecko. So this one is it's from a quad stripe C2 drippy dorsal father to a lavender quad stripe female, and this one got the phantom gene out of that pairing. So it's a phantom quad stripe C2 phantom pinstripe, but it's a C2 quad phantom pinstripe is, I think, the correct order to put all those words in. So a couple things of note here. Of course, the first thing I want to bring your attention to is the white tips on the crest on the side of the head. Absolutely love that. I just love when that trait comes through. A lot of times that fades away as the geckos get older, but sometimes you'll get one that'll keep it to adulthood, and this guy's got so much of it. I think he's gonna be one of those with the white tip crest as an adult. Obviously, the highlighted quad stripes, even though he's a phantom, he still has that white highlighting on the raised lateral scales is beautiful. And then you can see that those tiger markings. Normally they run vertically, but when you mix tiger and pinstripe together, the tiger stripes run horizontally. And a lot of people call that reverse pinning. You can see that on this guy just below the dorsal line and also around the quad striping there. I just love it. It's such a cool looking gecko. Fantastic. Next up, we gotta throw an axanthic in because I can't do one of these without an axanthic. You guys know they're my absolute favorites. Check this guy out. A classic axanthic. This looks a lot like the first axanthics. Well, a couple of the very first ones we ever got. Beautiful marbled dark steel gray color. Those dark steel gray eyes to match. Little bits of white pinning going up. Not a lot of pinning, but enough to let you know that when it's tipped in white, it's gonna stay. Again, I've talked about this before. You can see on the back of this guy's dorsal, that chevron pattern. You can see the spots that were white when he hatched out, but all that white pattern fades away as he grows. So this one is left with just the white pinning. Just a simply, classically beautiful axanthic. Another thing to look at on this guy is the great structure. You can see in this picture the way that structure is bunched up behind his neck. Gorgeous. I love that big head coming on this guy as he grows up as well. All right, next up, gecko number 4 to show you guys today. We're going with an ink spot line. I am loving the ink spots these days. Some of the newer generation ink spot stuff that's coming up is just incredible. And here's another one. This one's a bit older, just over the 4 gram mark. 4 grams with 4 grams with geckos this big, 4 grams with spots this big on a gecko. You know I got my eye on this one growing up. Those are big black spots. And you guys know with Dalmatians, the spots get bigger and more plentiful as they grow. So this one has a ton of potential to be a super high end, not quite like chunky monkey level, but the next step down from that is probably where I would predict this one to end up. Great ink spot Dalmatian. I love growing ones like this up because it's so much fun to stick them in the grow out room and then go in 8 months later and be like, oh my God, look what happened to you. Gorgeous. Okay, one more gecko to show you today. I really like this one. A very light base, low to mid pattern lily white. Of course, you guys know I can't leave it there. The key here, this one's 100% axanthic. Really unique pattern on this one. I love the beautiful, almost bluish eyes, solid lower laterals, great pattern up top. I expect a lot of that the upper lateral pattern to fill in, and this one to be really highly patterned as it grows up and gets older. He was a little grumpy when I was taking pictures, tried to bite me a few times, but I'll forgive him. He's too pretty to stay mad at. Look at the pattern on this, that swooshy, almost flame-shaped lily white pattern coming up, all that harlequin marking, and then the drippy dorsal you can already see coming down above it. This one is small. This one is under 3 grams, like 2.5 grams still. Really little guy, a ton of pattern potential. I absolutely love it. Good structure too, pinning all the way down the back. This is gonna be a nice one for me to add into the lily white axanthic projects to start getting high pattern coverage axanthic lily whites, because you know that's an area of focus over the next few years, and I can't wait to see those turn out. Can you imagine an axanthic lily white, but it's like 90% pattern coverage with that white pattern? Oh, it's gonna be so good. All right, guys, that's my lineup to show you today. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment and let me know which one of these geckos was your favorite. If you could pick one, which one would you want, and which one do you think is gonna be the nicest when it grows up? Don't forget about the adventure retreats. If you'd like to join me, I would love to have you. It is honestly my favorite place on earth, and I want to share it with you, so let's make it happen. Thanks for watching, guys. I am Brian with Altitude Exotics. That's altitudeexotics.com/AE-geckos on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. New geckos for sale every week. All the fascinating, fun stuff going on. Let's do it. I'm excited. It's the start of another year. It's gonna be good. Be safe, be kind. As always, I love you guys. I'll see you soon.